You've been waiting, praying the same prayer, holding on to the same promise, and nothing has changed. The silence feels heavier now than it did months ago. You wonder if God heard you, if He even cares, if maybe, just maybe, the answer is no. And in the quiet, doubt whispers, maybe this isn't for you. Maybe you missed your chance. Maybe God said no, and you just don't want to accept it. But here's what I need you to hear today. God's delays are not denials. His silence is not rejection. His timing is not His abandonment. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. And the waiting you've endured is not wasted. I know how heavy the waiting feels, how every unanswered prayer adds weight to your chest, how you've watched others receive what you've been asking for, how you've celebrated their breakthroughs while your own heart quietly breaks. You smile. You say you're happy for them. And you are. But when you're alone, the questions come flooding back. Why them and not me? What am I doing wrong? How much longer, God? You've been faithful. You've been obedient. You've trusted when it made no sense to trust. And still, the door hasn't opened. The answer hasn't come. The breakthrough feels further away than ever. But let me tell you something that might change everything. Delay is not the same as denial. God has not forgotten your name. He has not changed His mind about you. He has not moved on to someone else. He is working. Even when you can't see it. Even when it feels like nothing is happening. Even when the waiting feels unbearable. He is working. See, we live in a world that moves fast. Instant answers, immediate results, same-day delivery. We've been trained to believe that if something takes time, it must not be coming. But God doesn't operate on our timeline. He doesn't rush. He doesn't panic. He doesn't look at the clock and think, oh no, I'm running late. He is never late. He is never early. He is always right on time. And the time between your prayer and His answer is not empty space. It's sacred ground. It's where transformation happens. It's where character is built. It's where faith becomes unshakable. Because here's the truth. God is not just interested in giving you what you asked for. He's interested in making you ready for what you asked for. Think about it. If God gave you everything you wanted the moment you asked for it, would you be ready? Would you have the strength to carry it? The wisdom to steward it? The maturity to handle it? Or would it crush you under the weight of something you weren't prepared to hold? God loves you too much to give you something that would hurt you. He loves you too much to rush your process. He loves you too much to answer your prayer before you're ready to receive it. So He waits, not because He's cruel, not because He's testing you for fun, but because He's preparing you. He's strengthening you. He's refining you. He's shaping you into the person who can handle the blessing, the promotion, the relationship, the healing, the breakthrough. And while you're waiting, He's working, not just in your circumstances, but in you. I want you to think about Joseph for a moment. A young man with a God-given dream, a vision of greatness, a promise from heaven. And what happened after the promise? He was thrown into a pit by his own brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused, thrown into prison, forgotten by the people he helped. Years went by, and the dream felt further away than ever. Can you imagine what Joseph must have felt in that prison cell? The confusion, the betrayal, the unanswered questions. God, you showed me something. Why does it feel like you've abandoned me? But here's what Joseph didn't know in the prison. God was preparing him for the palace. Every test, every trial, every delay was shaping him into the man who could stand before Pharaoh, who could lead a nation, who could save his family. The dream didn't die in the delay. It was being refined, strengthened, made ready. And when the time was right, everything shifted. Not because Joseph forced it, not because he manipulated his way out, but because God's timing was perfect. So let me ask you, what if the same is true for you? What if the delay you're experiencing is not a denial, but a divine setup? What if God is using this season to prepare you for something bigger than you can imagine? What if the waiting is not punishment, but preparation? What if the silence is not absence, but intentionality? What if God is not withholding from you, but working for you? Because here's what Scripture tells us. He who began a good work in you will carry it to completion. God doesn't start something and abandon it. He doesn't give you a vision and forget about it. He doesn't place a promise in your heart and walk away. He finishes what he starts. And if he started something in you, he will complete it. Not on your timeline, but on his. I know that's hard to accept, because waiting is one of the hardest things we're asked to do. We want answers now. We want relief now. We want the breakthrough now. But God is teaching you something in the waiting that you could never learn in the receiving. He's teaching you to trust him when you can't see him, to believe him when you can't feel him, to walk by faith when everything around you screams doubt. And that kind of faith, that kind of trust, it's worth more than the thing you're waiting for. Because when the answer finally comes, you won't just have what you asked for. You'll have something far greater. You'll have a faith that can't be shaken, a peace that can't be stolen, a confidence in God that no circumstance can destroy. Let me tell you what God is doing in your delay. He's removing what doesn't belong, the wrong people, the wrong motives, the wrong timeline. He's clearing the path for what he's already prepared. He's aligning things you can't even see yet, opening doors you didn't know existed, moving pieces into place that will make sense later. He's not ignoring your prayers. He's answering them in a way that's better than you imagined. Because sometimes the answer isn't yes or no. Sometimes the answer is not yet. And not yet is not the same as never. Not yet means God is still working. Not yet means there's more preparation needed. Not yet means the best is still ahead. So don't mistake delay for denial. Don't interpret silence as rejection. Don't assume that because it hasn't happened yet, it never will. I need you to hold on. I need you to keep believing. I need you to trust that God has not forgotten you, even when it feels like he has, even when the waiting feels unbearable, even when you're tired of holding on. Hold on anyway, because the moment you let go might be the moment before everything changes. The moment you give up might be the moment before the breakthrough. The moment you stop believing might be the moment before the answer arrives. And I don't want you to miss it. Not after everything you've been through. Not after all the prayers you've prayed. Not after all the tears you've cried. Don't quit now. You're closer than you think. Maybe you needed to hear this today. Maybe you've been on the verge of giving up. Maybe you've been questioning if God even hears you. Maybe you've been wondering if the promise was ever real. Let me tell you, it was real. It is real, and it's still coming. God has not changed his mind. He has not moved on. He has not forgotten. He is working behind the scenes in ways you cannot see, arranging, preparing, aligning. And when the time is right, everything will fall into place. Not because you forced it, not because you manipulated it, but because God orchestrated it. So today, I want you to release the pressure. Stop trying to figure out the when and the how. Stop trying to control the timeline. Stop trying to make it happen on your own. Just trust. Trust that God is in control. Trust that he knows what he's doing. Trust that his delays are not denials. They're divine appointments. Sacred pauses. Moments of preparation for something greater than you can imagine. And when you look back on this season, you won't remember the pain of the waiting. You'll remember the faithfulness of God. You'll remember how he held you, how he strengthened you, how he never let you go. Let me tell you something else about waiting. It reveals what's really inside you. When everything is going well, it's easy to have faith. When prayers are answered quickly, it's easy to trust. When doors open immediately, it's easy to believe. But when nothing is happening, When the silence stretches on, when the doors remain closed, that's when you discover what your faith is really made of. And God is using this season to show you something about yourself. He's showing you that your faith doesn't depend on favorable circumstances, that your trust doesn't require immediate results, that your hope isn't tied to what you can see. He's building something in you that can't be built any other way. A deep, unshakable foundation. A faith that survives the storm. A trust that endures the silence. Think about Abraham. God promised him a son, a child of his own, an heir to carry on his name. And Abraham believed. But years passed, decades passed, and still no child. Sarah grew old. Abraham grew old. The promise seemed impossible. Yet Abraham continued to believe. Not because it made sense, not because he could see how it would happen, but because he knew the character of God. He knew that God doesn't lie, that God doesn't break his promises, that what God says, God does. And when Abraham was 100 years old, Isaac was born, the promise fulfilled, not on Abraham's timeline, but on God's, and the wait made the miracle even sweeter. Your story is not finished. The delay you're experiencing is not the end of your story. It's a chapter, an important chapter, but not the final one. God is writing something beautiful, and every day of waiting is adding depth to your testimony. One day, you'll look back and understand why it had to happen this way, why the timing had to be what it was, why the delay was necessary. And you'll see that God's plan was always better than yours. His timing was always perfect. His ways were always higher. But right now, in the middle of the wait, I know it's hard to see that. I know it feels like you're stuck, like nothing is moving, like you're running in place while everyone else moves forward. But that's not true. You're not stuck. You're being established. You're not going backward. You're being prepared. You're not forgotten. You're being positioned. And when God moves, it will be so sudden, so powerful, so undeniable that no one will be able to question it. They'll see what God has done, and they'll know it was Him, not you, not luck, not coincidence, but God. So hold on a little longer. Keep praying. Keep believing. Keep trusting, even when your heart is tired. Even when your faith feels weak, even when you're not sure you can take another day, hold on, because morning is coming. The breakthrough is coming. The answer is coming, and it will be worth the wait. I want to pray for you right now, wherever you are, whatever you're facing, however long you've been waiting. God sees you. He knows your name. He knows your struggle. He knows your pain. And He has not forgotten you. He is with you in the waiting. He is holding you in the silence. He is preparing something greater than you can imagine. So don't lose hope. Don't give up. Don't let go, because your breakthrough is closer than you think. God's delays are not denials. His silence is not rejection. His timing is not His abandonment. He is with you. He is for you. And He will finish what He started. So keep walking by faith. Keep holding on to hope. Keep trusting His heart even when you can't see His hand. Because the best is still ahead. The promise is still alive. And God is still working. Even now. Especially now. Don't give up. You're closer than you think. The wait is almost over. And when you step into what God has prepared, you'll understand why it had to take this long. You'll see that every tear was collected. Every prayer was heard. Every moment of waiting was building something beautiful. Keep believing. Keep trusting. Keep walking. Your breakthrough is coming, and it will be everything God promised, and more.